Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is April, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager at Stratix Simulations. I'm really excited to kick off today's webinar, which we hope will give you some useful insights on implementing a memorable sales training experience with a simulator. This will be an opportunity for you to get a firsthand account from a top company in the biopharma industry. So first, let me introduce today's speakers. We are honored to have Guillaume Rondeau, who is a medical director and business unit manager at Biotest. Guillaume oversees the commercial and medical strategy of Biotest France and has been a key player in developing the skill set of the company's workforce. He has over 10 years experience in the field of drug promotion, holding various positions in marketing, sales, and medicine in the pharmaceutical industry. We also have Elisa Moller-Pouilladou, who is Senior Region Head at Stratix Simulations. Elisa has over 7 years experience helping companies and universities create impactful training programs with experiential learning. She helped Guillaume and the Biotest team implement their first sales training program with the sales simulator earlier this year. So before we get started, let me go over a few points to take into account during the webinar. Please note that if you registered with us, you will receive a recording of our session either via email or via our LinkedIn event page. You can also ask any questions you might have in the Q&A function, which you will find at the bottom of your screen. We will have some time at the end to answer some questions. And finally, please take some time after the webinar to give us your feedback in the survey so that we can make sure that we are providing you with content that is beneficial for any future webinars. So without further delay, I'm happy to turn it over to Elisa and Guillaume.
Thank you, April. And again, welcome everybody. For people who doesn't know anything about Stratix Simulation, we were founded 36 years ago by INSEAD professor Jean-Claude Laréché. We actually work with top corporation as well as business schools. We have different type of audiences. We have the corporate ones, the executive ones, as well as the MBA students. We teach actually the simulation either in small groups or for larger groups. We have been illustrating through these years different concepts such as strategic marketing, digital marketing media strategy, blue ocean strategy, innovation, brand management and marketing mix, and the latest one, sales and negotiation, and that's actually what we are going to go through today. You can actually have flexible formats with our web-based simulation. You can have indeed the online, the blended, and the face-to-face formats. So you're probably joining us today because you are looking for effective ways to implement a sales training that will drive real impact. It certainly can be difficult to find the right mix of theory and practice to make sure your learners benefit from the experience. And a lot of the time, it can feel like you invest in training after training without much of a benefit in the end. Right now, I'd like to get your opinion from your own experiences with a poll question. In your opinion, why do you think most trainings fail? Please take a minute to respond to the poll, which will pop up here right now. Okay, great. We're seeing that a lot of people feel like it's hard to get participants engaged. There are also some who think it's difficult to get learning concept to stick. And others who think having the wrong content is a leading cause for failure in trainings. All of these are legitimate replies. Right now, I want to share with you a statistic published from the Harvard Business Review. In fact, most traditional trainings fail because we quickly forget from what we learn. on the average, we lose 75% of learning concepts after only 6 days if we aren't able to put the learnings into practice soon after the training session. One effective way to ensure a deeper understanding and a higher level of concept retention is by using a simulator for sales training. Based on the renowned 70-20-10 model, we learn the most through experience and application. A simulator mimics real-world experiences and allows participants to put into practice what they learned in real time. Simulators also are a great way to learn through teamwork and can fit perfectly into a structured course with theory. So they encompass all 3 types of learning acquisition. So now let's get Guillaume's perspective from his experience implementing the REVMANEX Sales Simulator for Biotest. Guillaume, first of all, can you please give us some background on Biotest?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, April. Thank you, Elisa, for the invitation. So what about Biotest? Biotest is a global company based in Germany, in Frankfurt, more precisely. Biotest supplies plasma protein products and biotherapeutics drugs in more than 90 countries all around the world. So let's say that we are a pharma company, and the plasma protein market is a bit special compared to classical pharma company, and you will see in the next slide and the next question why.
Okay, Guillaume, thanks. So what are your company's current challenges?
So there is 2 things that you have to understand. We don't have a lot of subsidiaries, so we are working also with local marketing partners and distributors. So we are negotiating directly with them for the price and the volume that we are going to sell on the market, their country. And the other thing is, in the plasma industry market, the raw material for plasma protein products is human blood plasma. So this is a constraint because this raw material is expensive, yes, but it depends on the human, the fact that human plasma is something terminated. So you cannot play on the volume. You will play on the prices. So it's a big constraint for us. So negotiation is key due to these two different elements.
Okay, thanks, Guillaume. So indeed, we understand that you had some challenges to face. So indeed, what skills did you want your teams to develop with that?
So the message from our head of global sales and marketing was clear right from the beginning. The idea was to put in the head of the company that we should not stop negotiating. There is the willingness to negotiate in order to better understand the process, all negotiation work, and to simulate it, thanks to REVMANEX Simulator, was a way also to better understand it. And when you understand quite well things, you have the willingness to do it. So this was the mindset of the training. Don't stop negotiating. Never stop negotiating.
Indeed. So why did you choose REVMANEX Simulator as part of the program?
So in Biotest, we are, yes, an international company, but we are not overstaffed. So there is lots of time we are learning by doing. Let's say, it's more convenient if you can start for the first time on a simulator than in the real life. So it was quite convenient to use a simulator in order to start in the world of, let's say, sales and negotiation. And it was fitting our mindset in terms of learning by doing. And for sure, REVMANEX is an online program. You can design the way you want to do it. You can put people face to face in the same room by team, but you can also do it online. So nowadays, we know how complicated it can be to gather people. So an online situation is quite convenient.
Okay, so you did not face any specific, and it's an extra question. You did not face any specific problem, because it was an online training. That's what you're saying as well.
No, so this is clearly it has to be addressed because online training it's never easy to involve quite well people on online training because they are at home without any trainers in front of them. So we thought a lot about this and how to involve people in this training. Yeah.
Great. So this question, who were you training indeed?
So the global sales and marketing team, area manager in charge of their clients, the distributors, also head of regions, head of business operation, but also the marketing team has been involved in this training.
Okay, good. And so I think this is a question that will be some interest for a lot of people here. How did you plan the program agenda? Because this is nice to say that, okay, we're going to implement the simulation, but how do we do that concretely?
So it's a classic situation for the past 2 years. We plan to have this face-to-face, same room with people able to see each other. But at the end of the day, another ways was there, and internal rules in Biotest were not. It was not possible to gather people at this time. So the idea was to go for an online training, and at this time, the big things coming from our head, please get people involved in this training. So we were three in this, let's say, facilitator, REVMANEX facilitator that we are supposed to set up the training. So we had to brainstorm and to find a way to involve people. So we designed a Biotest negotiation week in order to find an appropriate way to involve people. Salespeople, as we are involved in promotion, our team of facilitator, we were three, 2 people from sales and marketing, one person directly linked to our head of global sales and marketing. And so we were aware of the different agenda of the salespeople, the marketing team that nowadays is completely full with lots of video conferences, travel in the countries and so on. So we figured out the fact that we had to design something super flexible. So we designed a week better than only 3 hours dedicated to the simulation, for example, to the simulator REVMANEX. And we went through this week with also a competition with team competition. So just to explain you, we decided that each people were able to do the simulation, not by team, but each people were linked to a team. So you do your simulation and your score will be pulled with all of your team. And we designed 4 or 5 teams, which were linked to the region, the sales region of Biotest. So during the program was designed like you have on the slide. So the people met online for the first time with a kickoff meeting on a Friday with fundamental of negotiation and the demonstration of the simulator. And this was performed by Aidan McLaurin, who is a teacher in a Cage business school. And we presented the whole week and also the cup that we prepared to them and the prizes that they were able to win at the end of the week. Then the afternoon, we sent all the recording of this session because some people were not able to join. So we sent all the recordings so they were able to even do the cup and the simulator, even if they were not there on Friday. And then we offered, I think it was the Tuesday after, facultative question and answer live session that my colleague and myself were able to answer, and we were able to call Stratix at whatever time of the day if needed. Thank you, Elisa, for this. And on Wednesday, we closed the simulator, and we sent the individual performance the next day, and the day after, the Friday, take-home messages from our head of global sales and marketing, and the awarding ceremony for the best performance and for the best team performance. Yeah.
Exciting week indeed.
Yeah. Very exciting.
A lot of work.
It was.
Okay. So after that exciting program, how did the onboarding process work actually?
So this was key also, and thanks to Stratix for the follow-up with us. First, Stratix train us as facilitators. We are not experts in negotiation, so we discovered first the simulation and Revmanex, and then after we decided the way we will design the Biotest negotiation week according to the sales team agenda. So we decided this full flexibility. Again, thank you for Stratix that we are able to follow each and every steps of the onboarding process, but also during the Biotest negotiation week.
Again, that's what I told you earlier when you had a program, is that it's totally normal. As for us, the aim of that is really for you to have a successful program, not only selling a program, but having a successful program. So of course, we need to help you as much as we can actually in order to be sure that everything is going to be smooth during the program. Okay?
That was the case, yeah.
So did you have any challenges to overcome during the simulation? Maybe you had one?
Yes, the one returned a lot of motivation to do the simulation. So you are going to learn the program this week, negotiation week, and sometimes when you send an email to someone, you forgot about to do the follow-up because it goes down in his email list, and you have to keep it to keep the momentum. So we decided to inform them a lot during all the week by giving them a refresh of the, for example, 3 of them were at the second meeting with in the negotiation of Revmanex. 8 of them have ended the program, and so we keep this momentum, and plus this competition emulation was I think key in order to have I think we had over the 30 participants, we have 25 people that were able to finish the simulation.
Yeah. Okay. And what stood out to you during the program?
It was a bit crazy to see all participants were completely immersed in the simulator. When they start the first meeting, they want to finish it, and they want to do better each time, and they try to understand why they did not did well on this meeting, and they want to do better after. So yes, it's a very interesting moment, because I have seen some colleagues in front of me doing this, and it was very pleasant to see that.
So actually it was very successful in terms of you created a real challenge within your own.
Yes, the challenge, but also the simulation is quite motivating by itself. So the difficult thing for us was to put them in the simulation, but when they start the first meeting, they are in. So let's say I think it's the key for Revmanex.
Okay, thank you. And then what was the general feedback from the participants after the program, after the week?
Well, it was funny, or they wanted to do the simulation again, because always you can see that, for example, we disclose the rate, the grade of the best performer, and they say, oh, I can do that again. I can do what he have done. If I have more time, I can do it. Please open the simulation again for me. So it was funny to see this kind of thing. And you are in a situation where you see kids.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Kids that they want to compete.
I can imagine. Do you have any key takeaways?
Yes, I think an online training is not easy to set up first. So in order to you cannot propose another online training. I think we are at a moment where we have lots of online training. Yes, Revmanex is a very good online training, and when you start, as I said, the first meeting, they will easily go until the end. Nevertheless, you have to offer this. You have to make it big in order for them to be attracted to this first meeting. And so the way there is, I think, many ways to involve people. We decided to do this competition with Biotest Negotiation Week, but I think the key thing is to make it bigger than a simple online training.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. So, and the last question that I may ask, are you ready to integrate this program into your yearly sales trading?
Well, yes, this is the idea. So it was the first time for us this year. I think it won't be this complicated next time, because they know all the competition, they know the simulation. So now they want to try again and to get the cup for their region. So I think it will be easier this year for this on the side of facilitators. But yes, the idea is to do it on a yearly basis. Some of us propose to use it for candidate assessment, which is which can be a good idea. And why not? It was a question mark for the team. Why not to have a dedicated Biotest version with our product, because it's a bit strange in the plasma industry. The more you want to have volume, the highest is the price, which is the reverse as the classic negotiation. So it can be interesting maybe for us to have a dedicated version. Yeah.
Indeed, and that's what we were talking about. We will have a meeting in September to talk more further on that. Great. Thank you so much, Guillaume, for that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your insights. Right now, we have some time for the Q&A. Do we have any question from the audience?
So I'm waiting for some people to reply. I see somebody raise their hand. If you have a question, could you please submit it in the Q&A? That way we can answer that. Let's just wait a little bit. And maybe, Elisa, do you want to talk a little bit about, I guess, in terms of customization, the simulation itself, it can work in many different industries. So it's a very interesting idea for Biotest and other companies as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I think it can be interesting to indeed customize the simulation. But first of all, at least for a first or second program, I think it's good to have, I would say, the classic version, in order to be sure that the simulation suits to your audience, suits to what you're looking for. And when you're pretty sure of what you want and you see that, as Guillaume said, your audience really like it, they get into the challenge, they really have fun, because of course it's important to learn, and that's the aim of the simulation. But my real impression is that you cannot learn if you do not have fun doing it. So if they do not have fun doing that, I mean, then of course there is nothing. But when you're sure of that, then of course we can talk about customization, and that's what we're going to I think to have a discussion about it in September. That was already planned because indeed Guillaume talked to me about it, and other people from Biotest. So indeed, this is something we are going to talk about in September and see how we can and what customization they want, because we can have I would say a classic, very quick customization and something a bit more deeper. So we'll see that in September. But I think that's a great project ahead.
Great. Oh, great. And that's great. While you were answering that question, Elisa, we got a bunch of questions in the Q&A. Here's an interesting one for Guillaume. So Guillaume, at Biotest, how do you measure training impact? Is that something that you guys are really trying to measure, either through qualitative or quantitative measures?
Well, we are not expert in training. We were a dedicated team for this training. So I have to confess that we did not thought about quantitative feedback about it, but we took qualitative feedback in a whole session. I think we can do better next time to measure this. The only impact that we can measure in terms of quantitative is the fact that they have done the simulation, they have done the 6 meetings, and the rates that they get show that they adhere to the simulation. But we took qualitative feedback only, and I think next time we will do better.
Okay, that's great. And maybe Elisa, is that something we can talk about? Like, so we didn't do a demo. There is somebody asking, how do I get a demo of the simulation? We are more than happy to provide demos if you can just reach out to us after the webinar. But there are lots of different tools within the simulation that you can track the progress. You can there are coaching sheets and so forth. So it can be used as a tool for assessment as well. And we'll be happy to show you that if you are interested. So.
Yeah, with pleasure.
Great. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Yes, anyone who's interested in a demo, please feel free to let us know in the chat and we will reach out to you afterwards. We do have another question. So how much time does it take to introduce Revmanix in my training program? Maybe.
This is for me?
Yes.
Oh.
If you wish to respond to it,
let's say we took. I'm not sure I'm answering well the question, but here we took 2 hours to present the basis of negotiation, and I think 30 minutes by some external people to present the simulation. Nevertheless, when you do the simulation, you can understand the simulation by reading everything, because all is well explained. So you don't need someone external. But in the Biotest negotiation week, we try to motivate people. So we ask for Aidan McLaurin to join, to have a presentation, to explain the fundamentals of the negotiation. So in order to, let's say, to have more success in our audience. I hope I answer well the question.
Yeah. And if I can add something, indeed, you did it very well, because you really wanted somebody, I mean, external or not external, that's not the point. You really wanted your participants to have, I would say, a course, I mean, a small course from 1 hour before the program start, really explaining the basis on the negotiation. And I think it's really important so that they really step into the simulation easier. And that was really interesting, because indeed we worked with Aidan on how to propose a presentation that could fit in 1 hour and so on. But yes, indeed, I think that was a very good thing that you did, because I mean, your participants were not surprised, and I think Aidan was a good professor indeed
Yes.
and how he explained. It was quite clear. So yeah, I think that's a really good thing that people from HR, learning management, talent management can actually think of before implementing a simulation, indeed.
Okay, great. Here's another question for you, Guillaume. What made you decide on using the REVMANEX simulation?
The real story, I think, is our boss went to INSEAD, so knew Jean-Paul. So he was aware of the simulation at the beginning. So it was not too much our decision. We were there more to implement it. So we did not discuss this point too much. Maybe you know the story behind, but I was not aware.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. So I'm just looking through some of the other questions. I think, well, this was briefly covered, Guillaume. I think you already answered it. Somebody is asking, why did you feel your team needed training using REVMANEX? But from your presentation, you said it was kind of a top-down sort of demand that the teams needed to improve their negotiation skills. And REVMANEX is really focused on improving negotiation skills with the idea of creating value for the company. So this more of a global sort of mindset. I'm not sure if there's anything else to add there, but it's apparently something that people are curious about. So I think, okay. And then someone's asking, what's the subject of the simulation? That's true. We didn't really talk about the actual subject itself. Do you, Elisa, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to explain?
So the subject of the simulation, so it's a sales and negotiation simulation. So again, it's 100% web-based. So you actually act like a sales rep, and you go through 6 different meetings with 2 clients and 3 products. Okay, so we recommend you to when you start a simulation to go through what we call the practice sessions. So you can do as much as you wish in terms of practice sessions, and then you start the meetings. The aim of the simulation is indeed to maximize your bonus. I would say like a sales rep in the real world. You'll also have, so you have to stick to the commercial guidelines, again, like a real sales rep. And you have to go through the 6 different meetings. But I think the best would be for the people who are really interested to really get into a demo, I would say in one-to-one online. So I think really, again, the best would be to send us an email for people who are interested. I think, April, you give the email address just after at the end. But I think that's the best to really have a demo and maybe test it.
Okay, great. Yep. We have a question, and this might go into like the different industries that REVMANEX covers. We have somebody who works in construction sales. Is this an industry that could work well for the REVMANEX simulator?
Is it a question for me, I guess?
Yes, it's more of a question for you, Elisa. I don't think Guillaume would be able.
I mean, I do not see any problem with that, of course. But again, I think the best to really understand the needs is really to have a Zoom meeting to really understand the needs because every company is different. Every institution is different. Everybody has different needs. So I think it's really important to understand the needs and what they are really looking for. And that's why it's important to have a Zoom meeting.
I can add something. I think what is important when you have done your REVMANEX meeting and simulation is the mechanics that you understood behind. Let's say that we thought about designing very well for the Biotest version, but it can be a problem also if it go too close with your area. It's that your seller said, no, it's not exactly like this, and so on. What is important is the full mechanics. So I think from my personal point of view that it can fit.
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you. We have a question about, do the trainees get certificates after the simulation exercise?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so it can be an official proof that they have completed the simulation, that they can share it, with their
Yes.
networks. Yes. So yes, that is correct. Okay, great. Thank you for that question. And I think are there any other questions? I think we've answered most of the questions that were posed in the Q&A. Again, of course, for the demos, yes, we're more than happy to provide those for you afterwards.
And again, for people who have questions after, of course, please do not hesitate to contact us if needed.
Mm-hmm. All right, great. Well, we're ending a little bit early, but I think all the questions were answered. And thank you so much, Guillaume, for sharing your experience using Revmanix with your teams at Biotest. I think it was very interesting to kind of hear from A to Z how that works. And Eliza, so here are our contact information. If you do want to reach out for demos, any questions about Revmanix, about developing your programs for sales training, please feel free to reach out. If you're based in EMEAA, licensing at stratixsim.com, and the rest of the world, North and South America, is Americas at stratixsim.com. So thank you so much for joining us today. It was great having you, and hope to hear from you soon, and hope you guys have a great day. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.